Okay, so we left off on an example in 4.8 here, and it should have said negative 119.8 plus or minus the square root of 14,544.04 all divided by negative 32. So now let's find that those two values there. So I'm going to plug that into my calculator here. Negative 119.8 plus the square root of 14,544.04. I believe that's what it was. 14,544.04 equals divided by negative 32. And I'm getting negative 0.02. Let's find the other one. We can take negative 119.8 minus the square root of 14,544.04 divided by negative 32. And I get about 7.5 there. Now, it doesn't make sense that you can go backwards in time. So we started off here at 0.3, and we always want positive time. We can't, the ball's not going to go backwards. So we're going to cross out the negative time there. So t over there equals 7.5 seconds here. So the ordered pair over here is 7.50. So in part D, it asks for the domain and the range. The domain is all possible t values. So t is in between two values, and then the range has to do with the height, and that's in between two values. So for domain, you want to look left, smallest value to the left, and largest value to the right, left and right on graph. So you want to look left and right on the graph here. So the smallest value over here on the left for my t here is 0, and the largest value for t there is 7.5. So my domain goes from 0 to 7.5. On the graph, you want to look up and down, or down and up, I should say. So look down and up on the graph. So this time here, if I look at the bottom of the graph here is at 0, and the top of my graph is up here. So my range here goes from 0 to 227.2. So the ball's not going to go below the ground, which would be negative. It's going to land on the ground as at 0. So that is part D, and then we got part E left, and that's to find the y-intercept. And if we kind of look back up here at our graph, it's kind of easy to see kind of our little diagram that we kind of did here. So I'm going to come over here and look at our graph here. This is my y-intercept where it hits the y-axis there, and it's there at 3. You could also go back up here to your original function up here and remember this c value, which equals the y-intercept. So your ordered pair is always going to be 0, comma c, which equals 0, comma 3 in our case. So the y-intercept there is just set 3. And then part F here, we're supposed to graph it out. So let's graph it out. Just like let's make kind of a nice graph for this one. So I'm going to label my axes and everything. So draw something like this out. So we don't really need to do the negatives here, so I'm just going to do just one part of it, just the quadrant 1 here. So this ends up being my height of my ball, and that's in feet. And then going here, horizontally, this is my time, and that's in seconds. So you kind of want to do this by increments here. So I have to go up to 272, I believe, 227. So to get up that high, I might go by 20s on my graph here. 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, and 240. And then going across here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I gotta go all the way over to 7.5 on my domain there. So then we can keep putting our values on here. We got 6, 7, and I gotta go up to 8 because we're gonna go to 7.5 because that's where our domain is, from 0 to 7.5. And our range there was from 0 to 227.2, so we went from 0 to 240 there, so I can compass those points. So let's graph this out, T and H. So on my graphing calculator, let's put in negative 16 t squared plus 119.8 t plus 3. So putting that into our graphing calculator, y equals, clear that out, negative 16x, it's going to be x, squared plus 119.8x, and then plus 3. And let's graph that out. Now you're not going to be able to see it, so let's go to our window here. We said that we had to go, we're going to go from 0 up through 8, and we're going to go by ones. A y min, we're going to go from 0 up through 240, and we said let's go by 20s. So let's graph that. All I did is put my domain and range in there. So now I can go to my table here, but my table is probably also just set up by ones here. So I'm going to go from 0, go by increments of 20. Now let's go to my table. And I can see some nice values in there, except they're all negative. So some, oh, I know, because it's jumping up so fast. Yeah. So let's go to my table again here, grab some values. So at 0, we said we had 3, and that's exactly what's going on there. I think I might have, I see I set my window up wrong. Let's go back over here. So we got 0 to 8, and we've got going by increments of 1 table, this one. I need to go by increments of 1 here because that's my time. Time's going by increments of 1. So now let's look at our table here. So there we got our nice values. We got 0, 3, 1, 106.8. Two there. We have 178.6. At 3, I'm getting 218.4. And at 4 there, we can keep putting them in there. So 4, 226.2. And then I'm also going to put in 3.7 because that was our vertex. It was at 227.2. Put in 5, we're at 202. And at 6 here, there we go. At 6, we have 145.8. At 7, we have 57.6. We got to go all the way to the ground, which is at 7.5, and we got 0. So now we can just graph those out. 0, 3. We got 1 and 106. And we got 2, 178. And 3, 218 something. 3.7, 227. 4, 226. 5, 202. 6, 145. 7, 57.6. At 7.5. We're down here at 0. And just connect those. Try to connect those. And there's my nice parabola there graphed out. So we're going to have you try one of these and see how you can do on one of these. And then we'll go through another one of these tomorrow. All right.